Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? A gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It is Monday morning. It's December 30th, and it's 2:53 in the a.m. And I'm off to a very late start because I've been tinkering with my phone because I've had some difficulty in recording. Don't know what's going on. Both my phones have been uh, acting funny, so I know it's not a phone problem, it's a settings problem, and I'm trying to figure it out. So bear with me. That being said, hopefully this records. I can hear sound on my computer, I can hear sound on YouTube, but people have been telling me they have no sound on other platforms. So hopefully I've resolved the issue. Um, this morning, as I was coming into the office, I was listening to my janky radio. You've heard me decry my radio and how I miss my satellite radio. I still have a satellite radio account, and I can get my stations on my phone. But it's just too much of a hassle to plug in all this stuff in the car. So I listened to this one radio station. And I'm glad I did this morning because Minister came on. It's called Moments of Faith or something like that, something to that effect. A minute of encouragement. That's it. It's called a minute of encouragement. And I believe the minister was Francis Anfuso. And he spoke about how we're easily deceived or we give into deception. And I started thinking about that statement, and you've heard me talk about just being, I'm going to say, hurt by someone because I kept extending the benefit of the doubt even after, I saw red flags and whatnot. Saw red flags, bells, whistles, heard Calliope music, and, saw the flags, but went to the circus anyway. Amen. And you've heard me say, don't get upset about clowns when you keep going to the circus. Yeah, that was me. And now all I can think about is the lyric in the song, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you. And I want to say it's not a one-sided proposition. In order to really examine things, is your side, the other person's side, and then there's the truth, because everybody has a perspective on something. Amen. And I become very attuned to that. I've noticed that more and more in just how people present information, how stories get shared. It's coming from a perspective, but is it what really happened? We live a life of the game of telephone. But getting back to disappointment and deception and how we readily hold on to that, as our truth. And because we do, there's a domino effect in what else we hold on to and how we respond and what's stored in our hearts, what's stored in our minds. Just reactionary responses. We need to look at how we show up. I have some more things that I want to address. I'm running a series up until New Year's Day. What I'm not fitting to do, when I'm not fitting to do, no, it's fitting to. And so I have to correct some titles on some things, but I'm not fitting to do or fixing to do. How about that? that is violate boundaries. And I'm not talking about anybody else's boundary. You know, a lot of times we violate boundaries because nobody ever had a boundary or told us that there was a boundary, or the boundary continues to fluctuate, so you never know what's the beginning and what's the end, or, you know, what a person is willing to tolerate, because, you know, we're of the mind that, you know, everything is okay. If I just ignore it long enough, they'll either stop doing it, or if I ignore it, it'll go away. You know, so a lot of discussions are never had about boundaries. Yeah. Our boundaries change when we want something, bottom line. Our ethics change when we want something. And we need to look at that. Now, if I go outside every day and I change a boundary line on my house, I don't own a house, y'all, but I'm just speaking hypothetically. If I go out and change the property lines every day, I'm disrespecting my neighbor. I'm encroaching on their stuff, or they're encroaching on mine. So I'm disrespecting them, and I'm disrespecting myself and my obligations and my ownership. And that's how most of us live. I want you to think about that as you go into the new year and set some boundaries. Yeah, I shared on Facebook. My newest indictment is I have an attitude problem, because I've set some very concrete boundaries with people who seek to use me, or, you know, just kind of drain my energy. There's a show, What We Do in the Shadows. It's a comedy about vampires, and one of the vampires is an energy vampire. And some of you can relate to what it means to have an energy vampire in your life. And for those of you who don't know what that's like, it's that individual who lives from crisis to crisis. That individual who seems to have amnesia about your phone number until they want something or they need something. They don't check on you. Or they'll say they love you when they want something or when they need something. And they'll hang around for a little bit when they want something or they need something. And maybe a little while after they got what they wanted or what they needed, they'll hang around. But it's on their terms and they don't have time. There's always something that takes precedence, a priority. When you made them a priority at all times, yeah, that part. You know, when I think about deception, I have to look at willing participation on my part. What is it that I wanted and needed? Amen. That's my thoughts for this morning. I have a lot more, but I'm going to talk about what I'm not fitting to do in my next recording.